What's going on, guys? So recently I picked up a new set of wheels because mine were getting a little bit too small for my liking. I got these ones here. These ones I've been riding for like 9 months or so. They're the Spitfire OG Classic 54mm 99 durometer, but they're probably down to about like 50, 51 maybe, and that's too small for me. So yeah, I went ahead and purchased a pair of Spitfire Formula 4 54mm 101 durometer conical fold, and this is actually not my first time riding these. I had a pair back in last spring, but they were on a setup that got stolen, so I was never really able to experience them to like the fullest. So went ahead and picked these up again because I like the wheel. And yeah, plan for today, I'm going over to Centennial and I'll set these up and give you guys a review and skate them. So when we hit the road, let's set up some wheels now. Okay, let's get into these wheels, shall we? Let's crack these bad boys open. By the way, like I said, these are 54mm Spitfire conical full. Yeah, not much to say about these wheels. They're pretty well known. Wow. I don't know if y'all can see the difference, but like, bro, these wheels are like so much bigger than my old wheels. Thinking graphics in. Usually my graphics in type of guy. I don't really like my graphics to be out. But yeah, honestly, like I don't imagine these wheels to be like anything different than what I expect them to skate how they, like, I would expect them to skate because I've skated a pair of these before. But yeah, I'm looking forward to them. I love the feeling of opening up fresh wheels. Can't go wrong with that. Bro, these bearings like come out of the wheels like too easily, bro. I'll probably explain why. Sometimes they like, whenever I like look down at my board, they're like kind of popping out of the wheel a little bit. I gotta like push them back in. These wheels came with a sticker too, so yeah, dude, this is the setup. New wheels, ready to go. But yeah, you know, like the setup's like low-key pretty color coordinated, like red and black. The wheels are also red and black. The bearings are red. And yeah, I'm gonna go cruise around, break these in, and skate them a little bit. Jeez, bro. First tee. Okay, so it's now the next day after the session that you guys just saw, and these wheels are feeling great. So I would say in terms of grip and slide, since these wheels are a wider riding surface, obviously they're going to be a little bit more grippy. If you want to kind of balance that out, then you could go with a harder wheel. So you can go with the 101 durometer wheel instead of the 99, so it's a little less sticky and it slides more. And yeah, honestly, these wheels, they slide great. Like they give you enough slide to kind of slide out of tricks, slide out of reverts, but they still give you enough grip to not lose your balance and like slip out when you go to do like a revert or something, or a power slide. I think these wheels in a 101 durometer are probably like the perfect mix of wide enough and still slick enough. And even on ledges, these wheels grind great and they have good grip too. So that's because since these are, once again, like I said, a square cut wheel, they do provide more of a lock-in than something like a classic wheel would. And they don't have as much friction against the ledge as something like a tablet would have, because a tablet is a square cut wheel and the conicals kind of have they're like a concave in, so there's not as much wheel grinding against the ledge, but there still is that square edge to lock in. So in terms of speed, since these wheels, I got them in a 54mm, they are obviously going to be quite a bit faster than say something like a 52mm, but even a 52mm is still going to be pretty fast because, like I said again, these wheels do have a wider riding surface, as you guys can see. So they're going to obviously cover more ground and make it a little more smoother and faster to ride on rough street. which is why these wheels are pretty popular in street skating. So if you guys were looking at the different wheels that Spitfire has, you'll notice that they have like 3 conical shapes. They have the conical fulls, they have the conicals, and they also have the OG classics, which are the ones that I was riding before these. And they're pretty much all similar shape, similar width, and similar riding surface, but there is a little bit of a difference when it comes to the OG classic and the conical fulls. Pretty much from what I've heard and seen, as I've ridden both sets of wheels, but the conical fulls have a little bit more of a like on the edge, they have a little bit more of a rounder edge, like a 45-degree cut on the edge. And the Spitfire OG classics don't really have that like cut, so they're a little bit more of a straight wheel. So these wheels will kind of help a little bit in terms of like scooping a little bit, because the wheel has a little bit more tilt than it would if it was a square edge. The conical fulls are the widest wheel in terms of the 3. So I think it goes the conicals, which are the skinniest out of them, then the OG classics, and then the conical fulls. So yeah, if you're someone who really likes to skate ledges and like flat bars and rails and likes to have a nice lock-in, the Spitfire conical fulls will be a great choice for you. If you want to get more of a lock-in, I would suggest like sizing up like on like 54 or even 56. Okay, so the last 2 things that I want to cover is the weight of these wheels and how they like flip, and the durability. Like I said, these are a little bit of a bigger wheel, so they are gonna flip a little bit slower and be a little more heavy than something smaller and more nimble. But honestly, you kind of get used to that. Like I've been riding like the conical shapes and like the little bit more of a chunky wheels from Spitfires for like a while. So I'm kind of used to the weight that it offers. Like a good balance is a light truck with these wheels. So I had the hollow lights set up with the 54mm versions of these wheels, and I found the weight to be perfect, like in terms of flick and stuff. But I haven't really gotten around to flipping around this setup because I'm still coming off an ankle injury. I don't really have a say in how it would feel with the standard Thunder trucks, which are a little bit heavier. But I wouldn't imagine that it makes that much of a difference. But that's just something to keep in mind, that if you are a little bit more of a technical skater and you like to flip your board around a lot and do spins out of grinds and slides, but you still want these wheels, it might be a better choice to size down to like a 52mm wheel or a 53. So now I'm sure the biggest thing for a lot of skaters is the durability of these wheels. Everyone knows that Spitfire, specifically the Formula 4s, are known to be like flat spot resistant. So I'm pretty sure for the average skater who, you know, occasionally does power slides, has some reverty tricks, these wheels will not flat spot on you. Especially the 101. My logic is that the harder wheel lasts a little longer because it doesn't wear down as fast as a soft wheel. So I think a harder wheel will be a little less prone to flat spots because you don't have to slide them as much on the ground because they slide a little more easily. If you are really worried about flat spotting these wheels for some reason, which I highly doubt you will, maybe pick up a set of the 101s. So I know I've only ridden these wheels for only like a day or so, but I've ridden these wheels before, and I've ridden the conical shape and the OG classic, and I have never flat spotted them before, and they usually last me about like 9 to 10 months. Like my other wheels lasted me 9 months, and even then I could have still skated them a little longer, but they were just getting a little too small for me. So yeah, these wheels are durable and will slide well, so you don't got to worry about flat spotting them. So just to break it down for you guys, I would say that these wheels are best for people and skaters who like to skate street, bowl, and like to have good lock-ins. And if you're someone who likes to do those, but you also like to flip your board around a lot, I would suggest maybe going down to a 52 and not necessarily going up on a bigger size. And if you're someone who likes to slide around a lot, I would suggest going with the 101s. But if you're someone who likes to kind of have a little more grip on your wheels, then I would suggest going with the 99s. That just about does it for the Spitfire Formula 4 conical full wheel review. If I left anything out that you guys have questions on or want to add, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.